Now, welcome to you all in this online class. Dear student, as we know that we are discussing about Delhi Sultanate that we have already discussed about Slave dynasty and Khalji dynasty. Today, our discussion will be on Tughlaq dynasty. Okay, Tughlaq dynasty was founded by Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Actually, after ruling for 20 years, Alauddin died in 1316. His successor could survive only up to 1320 CE. The last ruler of the Khalji dynasty was Khusro. It is one of the most important questions. Who was the last ruler of Khalji dynasty? Correct answer is Khusro. He was defeated and murdered by Ghazi Malik. There was a noble who killed him to get the throne under his control, to get the power, to seize the power. When Ghazi Malik killed Khusro, with the death of Khusro, Khalji dynasty ended. And Ghazi Malik became the ruler. He took the name of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq and became the Sultan in 1320. Right? In 1320. After that, as a strong ruler, he ruled his kingdom with many reforms. Tughlaq dynasty continued from 1320 to 1412 CE. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq was the founder. Naturally, he was the first ruler of this dynasty. He ruled about 6 years, 5-6 years, I mean from 1320 to 25 CE. Right? Actually, he was posted under Khalji dynasty on a very ordinary position. And by the dint of his hard labor and high ambition, he rose his position from an ordinary position to higher position of governor of the frontier province. No doubt, he was an expert warrior and able administrator. He consolidated the scattered sultanate and restored peace and order as the whole country was in the grip of unrest and lawlessness. I mean, when there was no peace, there was the chances of the foreign attack. The nobles were in some rebellious mood. Peace was losing in such a condition. As an efficient administrator, as an able administrator, he consolidated the scattered, I mean disintegrated parts of the Sultanate, and again peace was restored. Law and order was very strong in whole country, and all the unrest, I mean peaceless condition, lawlessness condition was removed, I mean controlled, and in true sense, law and order was implemented. He was really a kind ruler also. No doubt, there were so many demerits in his personality. But one quality was also, he was a kind ruler. To improve, what is the example which proved that he was a kind ruler? One example can be given that he to improve the condition of peasants, He removed some taxes imposed on them. Generally, the rulers taxed the people, imposed the tax on their subject to increase the source of income. But he was a ruler who withdrew or removed some taxes from the people. He died in accident when he was set in a pandal. Actually, a pandal was set up for his welcome, right? And all on a sudden, that pandal fell on him and he died. It is some notion is different regarding this matter, and it is said that a conspiracy was made, hatched by his son Zuna Khan for early occupation of throne. I mean, his son wanted to get power, wanted to be ruler by killing his father. So in this way, this was the end of the founder of Tughlaq dynasty, Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, who was earlierly known as Ghazi Malik. After that, Muhammad Tughlaq became the ruler. Who was Muhammad Tughlaq? That Juna Khan. I mean, son of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Muhammad Tughlaq became the ruler. He ruled the country from 1325 to 51 CE. In the medieval history of India, he is known for three reforms and a person or a king of fickle-minded, I mean, who is not constant on his decision, who always changes his decision, who have lost the determination, that is called fickle-minded person. कभी कोई नहीं ले लिया, फिर उसको कैंसिल कर दिया, फिर उसको शुरू कर दिया. So this type of mindset is known as the fickle-minded person. Muhammad Tughlaq was of the same quality person. Why and which projects were launched by him that were later on cancelled one by one, we will discuss. But some information of his life should be known by us. Actually, after the death of his father, Juna Khan, who took the name Muhammad bin Tughlaq, declared himself as the Sultan in 1325. He was a scholar person. He was a scholar, learned person, a man of knowledge. He was the second person in Delhi Sultanate, second ruler in Delhi Sultanate, who disliked the interference of ulema in the matters of the state. Now, you have learned that Alauddin Khalji also had not allowed the ulemas to interfere in their internal matters. Ulemas were the scholar of Islamic world or Islamic learning, who were generally orthodox in their outlook, right? What does it mean? They were the Islamic scholars and they do not want to accept the change. And such ulemas give priorities to Islam. In his eyes, there is no any other religion greater than Islam, and he did not, and such person to some extent do not want to accept the qualities of other religion. So now he disliked the interference of such ulemas because he wanted to make his administration free from the religious interference, religious groups interference. There are two rulers in Delhi Sultanate who removed the interference, who opposed the interference of ulema. Who were they? They were Alauddin Khalji, Alauddin Khalji, and Muhammad Tughlaq. Now, let me tell you about his reforms. To make his power or kingdom strong, he took some steps to consolidate the Sultanate, to make his country strong. Right? All of you, please open your video. Let me to see what you are doing. Okay. In this way, yes, all of you open. Darya Bugs, Utkarsh, right? All of you, please. Now, in this way, we have to know what were the steps. Now, first of all, first three steps, many steps I am going to say. First, he transferred the capital from Delhi to Devgiri. First. Second, he imposed taxes on some areas, I mean in Doab area, at 50% of the produce. True. First, the transfer of capital city. Second, imposition of taxes on the farmers in Doab area. And third one was issuing currency, right? He had decided, or he had issued token currency of copper instead of silver coins. सिल्वर के बदले उन्होंने क्वाइन जो चलाया वो कॉपर का. ये थ्री जो है उन्हें, these three are the steps taken by the ruler, I mean Sultan Muhammad Tughlaq. This question, this answer, I mean this topic is important because on that basis, in your exercise also there is a long question, write about the reforms made by Muhammad Tughlaq, or describe the Muhammad Tughlaq's project which failed. Describe Muhammad Tughlaq's project which failed. So three reforms are there, and you have to write not more than 5 or 6 lines, right? Not more than 5 or 6 lines, because this question comes of 5 marks. How will you write? Listen carefully. You will write in this way: the projects started by Muhammad Tughlaq was as follows. First, क्या लिखना है आपको? He transferred his capital from Delhi to Devgiri to save his kingdom from Mongol attacks. First line. He transferred his capital from Delhi to Devgiri to save his kingdom from the attack of Mongols and to control Deccan. Okay. Second line, after some years, after some months you can say, or after 5 years, I'm sorry, after 5 years, he cancelled his order, he cancelled this decision, and again he ordered again to return Delhi. I mean, again, he made his capital to Delhi. First, what he said, what he did, he transferred the capital from Delhi to Devgiri. But just after 5 years, he ordered that Devgiri will not be the capital, but Delhi. Okay, so it proves that he was a fickle-minded person. He was not a man of determination. He was not a good ruler. He was unable to take good decision. बस एक में इतना लिखना है. He transferred his capital from Delhi to Devgiri to save his kingdom from the Mongol attacks as well as to control on Deccan. Now, but explanation you listen. Actually, what happened, the distance between Delhi and Devgiri was 950 kilometers, right? So, in course of transferring the capitals, all the officials were asked to go there. Since there was no advanced or no any means of transportation, or there was a lack of transport facilities in those days, so many people felt so many hardships, so many difficulties when they had to go on foot or horse or camel on foot, right? Many people died on the way to Delhi because no one had dared to disobey. They had to go, but their physical capacity also did not allow them to go. So many people died on the way, right? On the other hand, his absence from north encouraged frequent attacks from Mongols. Delhi is in north side, and when he left the capital and made other city Devgiri his capital, it was nearer to the, I mean, Delhi was nearer to the boundary. So attackers, foreigners began to attack. So he realized that his decision was wrong. So he ordered to retreat, पीछे लौटने के लिए, फिर लौट जाने के लिए उसने आदेश दिया. It caused again the greater hardship to the people. People displeased with him, and in this way, this was the failure of his first project. Okay, again I am summarizing 1-2 minutes. He transferred the capital from Delhi to Devgiri to make his kingdom secured, safe from Mongol attacks, and to control Deccan. Due to the hardship felt by the people and the frequent attacks of Mongols, after 5 years he again ordered to retreat. बस इतना एक point. Okay. Second was what? Second reforms. Muhammad Tughlaq wanted to make his military power very strong so that he could get victory over more and more territories, right? And there was need more money to implement other projects. So there was need to have more income. That is why he imposed taxes on the land. I mean, he imposed land tax in Doab area. He ordered the people to pay 50% tax. Even in case of famine, I mean, when there is no crops, he ordered the peasants to pay the tax. It was an inhuman practice. People were unable to pay the tax. And a reaction started against the ruler. Many people left the cultivation work and land remained barren, uncultivated. In lack of the production, king had to suffer from loss. So he ordered about the cancellation. He ordered to cancel the land tax that he had imposed. What do you see? Once he imposed the tax and again he cancelled the tax. That is fickle-mindedness. This is the failure of the project. तो 2 पॉइंट्स हो गए. और थर्ड मैंने बताया था आपको issuing token currency. I mean currency was issued. Earlier silver coin was in use. He cancelled it and he introduced new coin of copper. Actually, it also proved harmful because both the coins or counterfeit, nakli, fake currency also continued. So again he cancelled the decision and older coin was brought in use. So these are the projects which was implemented, planned by Muhammad Tughlaq but failed in lack of strong decision, determination, patience, courage. Now, and this failure of the projects also declared Muhammad bin Tughlaq a failure, a unsuccessful ruler. So now this is the subject matters regarding Muhammad Tughlaq. Is it clear? So 3 points you learned, 2-3 lines about each of the point you have to write. First project was transfer of capital from Delhi to Devgiri. Again, he ordered Devgiri will not be the capital, Delhi will be there. Second point, he imposed land tax in Doab area. I mean land between 2 rivers, that is called Doab. It was illogical, even in famine, when there is no crops. He asked for the tax from the peasants and it failed. He cancelled again. And third project was regarding issuing token currency. Now, what is the token currency? You will know in your book also. In view no box, it is written. If you have book, you go through the lines. Here it is written now. Token currency is one in which the face value of a coin is much higher than its metallic value. I mean, whatever the metal is used in making the coins, the printed mark of the rupees or pies is greater. For example, in case of 1 rupee silver coin, the value is also nearly equal to 1 rupee. But now, if you compare the value of rupee, it is much less than a rupee. So it is token currency. Now, next is one more point, one more ruler or sultan I will teach you. Point wise you have to listen, learn, right? And after that I will unmute you all and you can ask the question, whatever you have. Next ruler was Firoz Tughlaq. Firoz Tughlaq ruled country from 1351 to 88 CE, right? Year must be learned by you. Now, what is the project and how was Firoz Tughlaq? Was he a great ruler, benevolent ruler, popular ruler, or not? Or what did he do for the betterment of his people? Actually, Muhammad Tughlaq had no son. His cousin, son of his uncle, his cousin, Firoz Tughlaq was made the Sultan after his death. When he became the ruler, he wanted to appease, to make happy to the nobles. He wanted to get the favor of other nobles because in those days their strength also depended on the support of many nobles, courtiers, officials. So he wanted to gain more and more favor of such people, such noble. It is why he wanted to appease him, please him by giving something. How did he appease him? He also wanted to make happy to ulema and other Orthodox Muslims to make his condition or position strong. As you know, the ulemas were not given preference in the administration, so they were unhappy. Under the fear of king's pressure, they were unable to say something, but they were unhappy and in a reactionary mood. So they wanted to, so Firoz Tughlaq wanted to get the favor of all such persons. To please him, he imposed jizya on Hindus and granted land as well as high civil and military official position to the ulemas. उलेमा को खुश करने के लिए फिरोज तुगलक ने 3 स्टेप्स लिए. फर्स्ट क्या लिया? जजिया टैक्स लगाया. जजिया वाज ए टैक्स in Sultanate period which was paid only by non-Muslims. Hindus on major scale. Hindus had to pay the tax because they were living in Muslim rule. So it was very unjust step or unjust rule, but Hindus or all the non-Muslims had no option except to accept it. The jizya was a tax imposed on all non-Muslims in his rule, and it was done only to please ulemas. First, second, he gave the high place in the administration to the ulemas. He made many ulemas high rank officers to please him. Okay, to please him. Next step was taken what? He was a very distant Sunni by faith. As you know, there are 2 communities in Islam, Shia and Sunni. Due to some religious differences, conflict takes place in time to time. But he was a supporter because he was a Sunni, so he had no lust and respect for Shias. He declared himself as a servant of God, and he changed the policy of Alauddin Khalji and Muhammad bin Tughlaq of separating religion from administration. Right? How can you say that Alauddin Khalji had separated religion from administration or government? Yes. He had separated religion from administration by removing the interference of ulemas and maulanas in administration. And Muhammad Tughlaq also did the same work. So they were unhappy. That is why, to please them, Firoz Tughlaq gave him high rank, gave him full freedom to interfere in administrative arena, and in this way he got the favor of such ulemas and maulanas. Now, apart from it, he made some important reforms. First was what? He constructed many canals and tanks for irrigational facilities. The old tanks were repaired. Second step. Third, land revenue was reduced. I mean, whatever the tax was imposed, their percentage or ratio was minimized, lessened. Now, the third reforms was what? He made land revenue reforms by minimizing the tax or reducing the tax. Third or fourth point, markets were open to sell the surplus production. Surplus production means extra production. Extra production means the quantity of production that is much more than the consumption of the countrymen. Suppose you are needy to have 5 pencils. But if your father or guardian brings 7 pencils, then 2 pencils will be the surplus pencil. When such type of production is done in a country, this extra production, quantity of production is known as surplus production. To sell it, he had opened many markets where the sellers used to sell and to earn money. Next is new coins of smaller denominations were also introduced. Smaller denomination means very small uh, 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 amount of rupees. Suppose 100 rupees. Denomination means 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 50 rupees. Now, earlier what used to happen, 1 rupee had also some denomination coins, denominated coins, 1 paisa, 5 paisa, 10 paisa, 20 paisa, right? 50 paisa. So in this way, this is called. Now next is what? He opened schools and gave grants to the scholars so that literature can be or literary activities can be improved. People can get more and more facilities for getting education. He helped the poor Muslims also. In this way, if question comes to write about the reforms made by Firoz Tughlaq, minimum 5 points must be mentioned in your answer sheet. First, how will you write? First, he constructed many canals and tanks. Second point, he made many repaired many old tanks, or he ordered to repair many old tanks. Next, land revenue was reduced. Next, market were open to sell surplus production. Next point, new coins of smaller denomination were also introduced. Next point, many schools were opened and grants were given to the scholars for the promotion of education. These are 5. And you can write more. 2, 3 more points are given in your book. You can explain. Lastly, he led 1,200 fruits garden around Delhi and founded new cities. Hisar, Jaunpur, Firozabad, Firozpur, etc. Such an important question can be asked from this side. Who has founded the city Hisar, Jaunpur, Firozabad? Now, all these type of questions can be raised. Okay, so now I'm going to unmute you all, although time is going to be over. You read all these book lines, prepare the question. Only 2 main questions